Namaste Bitya. Myself, Dr. Shilpasri Shaha, Assistant Professor of Jyoti Vidyapith Women's University. I am MPT Cardiothoracic. So, yesterday we have discussed about an investigative procedure of cardiovascular accident, that was ECG, electrocardiogram. We have learned about so many waves of ECG like P, Q, R, S, T, and so many intervals, complexes of that ECG graph paper, and how to count the heart rate from ECG graph paper, and everything about the ECG like electrocardiogram and electrocardiograph, and what are the diseases that we can use ECG to diagnose, and what are the importance of ECG, what are the needs of ECG, right? So if you have any doubt about that, you can comment me on this comment section of the video. So first of all, we will recall all this what we have learned yesterday. So ECG, what is ECG? It is an investigative procedure by which we can count the electrical activity of the heart, that is contraction and dilation, or depolarization or repolarization and repolarization, right? So what are the waves of ECG? P wave, Q wave, R wave, S wave, and T wave, right? And importance of ECGs are like to diagnose any disease, to improve our treatment procedure, to understand the capacity of heart, to understand the functional capacity of a person, right? To understand the exercise capacity. Okay, so today we will discuss a disease of heart called ischemic heart disease. So at first we have to know what is ischemia. What is ischemia? Ischemia is defined as inadequate blood supply to any local part of heart. Okay, so we can say ischemia is inadequate blood supply or circulation to a local area due to blockage of any part of the blood vessel that supplies the heart, right? Ischemic means that an organ is not getting enough oxygen and blood. Organ means, as we are discussing about ischemic heart disease, here the organ is heart. Okay. So ischemic heart disease is also called coronary heart disease. Why it is called coronary heart disease? Because the coronary artery is the artery which supply our heart. So there are parts of coronary artery like right and left coronary artery, which are main coronary artery is divided into right and left coronary artery, right? So here are also many division of right and left coronary artery. So if any obstruction can cause any difficulties in one arteries of the coronary supply, we can say it as single vessel disease. If double part of any two coronary artery portion is obstructed, we can say it is double vessel disease. And it is, if it is multiple, like 3 coronary arteries is involved for that, we can say it is a triple vessel disease. So in practical life, we have seen mostly the triple vessel disease. Okay, triple vessel. If we can take one study or any prevalence, we will see that most commonly triple vessel disease are common. Why? Well, because patient does not get enough symptoms in single or double vessel disease. The symptoms are only visible or most commonly visible when it is severe, or triple vessel disease also occur. Okay, only when it is the symptoms will visible. So their prevalence rate of triple vessel disease is high. Okay, although the narrowing can be caused a blood clot or by constriction of the blood vessel, most commonly it is caused by buildup of plaque, or it is called atherosclerosis. Now what is atherosclerosis? Atherosclerosis is the plaque formation. Okay, plaque formation in a blood vessel, any type of blood vessel, like coronary artery. I have told you, right? Coronary artery is, main coronary artery is divided into right and left coronary artery, right? So atherosclerosis is plaque formation. Plaque formation means the waste particles, fatty materials fibrin, okay. If they are built up in an artery and obstruct any artery, it is called the plaque or waste material or fatty material is called atherosclerosis, okay. This is one cause of ischemic heart disease, right? I think you have understand, because what I have told, like any obstruction by atherosclerosis formation or plaque formation, if it is developed in a vessel, what it will do? It will obstruct the circulation, right? So the distal part of the heart does not get or will not get enough oxygen and blood. So it will lead to ischemia, right? Ischemic. Then it is called ischemic heart disease. Now, when the when the blood vessel is completely blocked, like suppose the blood atherosclerosis or plaque formation block the artery completely. Now the distal part will not get such any oxygen or any blood or circulation. Okay. Now what will happen in that part? The part that does not that will not get enough blood and oxygen will die, right? The cell will die. So this condition is called myocardial infarction. Infarction means cell death, okay, cell death. So most people with early congestive heart disease don't experience symptoms. I have told you first that most patients will not get enough symptoms, right, during single or double vessel disease. This will lead to severity of the condition and lead to triple vessel disease. Now when the symptoms will arrive and how the symptoms will arrive? The heart disease is a condition when the patient will not able to do enough activity or enough exercise, okay. So patient will get breathlessness, or he or she will have air hunger during exercise or any exertion, okay. He or she will have fatigue in the leg, he or she will have swelling in the leg, okay. So it is most commonly the symptom will present during exercise or if left untreated. If the patient will left untreated, the patient will do any activity, the symptoms will arrive, okay. So it is our most what I have to say, like it is our first duty to educate the society about heart disease and its prevention and its cause and its risk factor, okay. If we know now that prevention is better than cure, so we have to prevent it first. We have to tell the society about heart disease, that you have to understand about diabetes, you have to understand about how the heart disease develop, like you have to control on your food or diet, you have to take nutritional diet, you have to do activity regularly, you have to do physical exercise regularly, so that your heart remain healthy and strong. So it is the basic part of our cardiac rehab or treatment of heart disease. So okay, so prevention is the first point of our treatment or rehabilitation, okay. So patient will also get symptomatic during emotional stress. That means the patient will not take any stress, okay. If the patient is in stress, you will get symptomatic, like you will have breathlessness, you will can have chest pain, he or she will have the pain in the shoulder, jaw, left side of hand, finger, okay. Numbness will develop, he or she will have tingling in the hand and chest discomfort, chest tightness, right. So what are the causes of ischemic heart disease? First one is multiple factors are there that can lead to ischemic heart disease, okay. The major risk factors are smoking. How smoke can affect? The chemical that inhale an individual during smoking can lead to go through the circulation and can build up plaque. The chemical can lead to build up of plaque and rupture the vessel, right. The first one is smoking. Second one is high cholesterol level. If an individual take fatty diet regularly, okay, like junk food or fast food they have taken regularly, that can lead to hypercholesterolemia. That means high cholesterol, high fat in the diet can lead to plaque formation in the coronary vessel, right? That can lead to can lead to obstruction, and that can lead to less oxygen or blood supply in the circulation. Okay. Next is hypertension. What is hypertension? Hypertension is high blood pressure. Now, what we will lead when high blood pressure, and how high blood pressure can cause ischemic heart disease. The point is that high blood pressure means the blood flow or the speed of blood in the circulation is very higher, right? So what we will see that the high blood pressure or high flow of blood can rupture the blood vessel. Lining of the blood vessel will rupture because of the high flow of blood in the circulation, right? So next point is hypertension can also lead to ischemic heart disease. This rupture particle of the lining of blood vessel then can lead to formation of plaque. Okay. Next, if we go to the prevalence rate, the males are more prone to develop ischemic heart disease, but we have to memorize that the postmenopausal women are similar or equal to the rate of chances of ischemic heart disease to men. That is, men and postmenopausal women are more prone to develop ischemic heart disease. Okay. Then the disease process occurs when an atheromatous plaque forms in the coronary vessel, leading to narrowing of the blood vessel. Well, I have told you already. What will it happen? Like complete obstruction does not circulate the enough of blood, and we know that from a lung we get oxygenated blood to the whole body through aorta, right? So what it will happen when blood does not circulate through the blood vessel due to obstruction, the oxygen also not will get, right? So cyanosis will develop, fatigue will develop, right? Swelling will develop. Okay. Now symptoms. The discomfort experienced when the heart muscle is deprived of adequate oxygen, and thus this condition. First symptom will develop pain, chest pain, right? So this is called angina pectoralis. This is a clinical syndrome characterized by pain in the chest, jaw, shoulder, neck, and hand, also in the back, right? So that is typically aggravated by exertion or physical exertion or emotional stress, and relieved by rest or by taking nitroglycerin drug. Okay, by taking rest or nitroglycerin drug. Then quite often the first sign of ischemic heart disease may be severe chest pain, okay, which I have told, and warning symptoms occur in a large number of patients from angina pectoralis. The main symptom of angina is, if we asked in exam that what is angina, you can say the chest pain due to inadequate blood or oxygen in the heart muscle is called angina. Okay, the symptom of angina is central chest pain, which may radiate to the left arm and shoulder and back. Why left side? Because our heart is in the left side. The characteristic features of the pain that it is usually aggravated by exercise and relieved by rest, and various drug like nitroglycerin I have told you. Then palpitation, irregular or rapid pulse, then shortness of breath, right? Cough, fatigue, weakness, faintness, decrease alertness or concentration, decrease urine output, increase urine output, okay, overall swelling, breathing difficulty during lying down, etc. Then what is risk factor? Risk factor is like personal or family history of heart attack, high blood pressure, smoking, diabetes, high fat diet, high cholesterol, what I have discussed with you. Then what are the investigative procedure? First we have told the investigative procedure. If we come to the investigative procedure, first one is what we have read yesterday, ECG, electrocardiogram. How we will investigate with that? Like if the heart does not atria does not contract properly, then what we'll do? P wave suggesting that atrial depolarization or contraction. If the heart atria does not contract properly, what will happen? The P wave will not get properly. Okay, maybe the P wave will the length of P wave will not get that same which we will find in normal. That is, it will be down slope or ST segment will down, right? Okay. Next is exercise testing, treadmill test. It is often indicated in patients who have symptoms but have normal ECG pattern. Nowadays, treadmill testing is being indicated in all high risk category patients. Okay, what is happen in treadmill? We will attach some ECG leads to the chest, and we will test in treadmill. We will ask the patient to walk in the treadmill, then speed will increase, and we will note when the patient will get exert. Okay. Then coronary angiogram, myocardial perfusion scanning are also some investigative procedure. Physical examination is taken by seeing the leg swelling, crackles. We can auscultate the heart and lung sound. We can found crackles in the lung, then extra heart sound like S4 in heart, and elevated blood pressure in the neck vein. It is most important point when any heart disease patient is there. They will have the exaggerated neck vein. It will we can palpate the neck vein which has high pressure. Due to elevated pressure, we can palpate it very quickly. Okay, it will distend it. Then biopsy can be done, or heart muscle biopsy. Okay. Then prevention, I have already told that adequate food or nutrition. Then avoid fatty diet, avoid smoking, avoid sedentary lifestyle. We have to tell the patient to walk regularly, to do exercise regularly. Okay. Then adequate learning about that diabetes mellitus. Okay, hypertension. Okay, we have to tell the patient or individual to check your blood pressure regularly if you have prone to high blood pressure or low blood pressure. Okay, or diabetes mellitus. Okay, we have to tell them to check your blood sugar or blood pressure regularly. Then treatment also, first treatment is advising the patient. As I have told, prevention is better than cure. The first one is prevention, that is education to the patient. Second is comprehensive management of angina and stable congestive heart disease entails multiple therapeutic procedure. First one is identification and treatment of disease. Okay, then pharmacological treatment, physiotherapeutic rehabilitation, or we can say cardiac rehabilitation. Okay. In pharmacologic rehabilitation, we can say beta blocker or propranolol are highly effective in relieving pain by reducing the myocardial oxygen demand, because there is the heart muscle will deprived of oxygen, and due to that the pain will arise. Then what beta blocker will do? It will relieve the pain by reducing the myocardial oxygen demand. Then calcium channel antagonists produce vasodilation due to shrinkage or obstruction of the heart. The blood will the cardiac muscle will not get enough oxygen and blood. So what calcium channel antagonist will do? It will vasodilate. Dilation means open up. Okay, vaso means vessels. Vessels will open up, and the relievable symptom by relieve the symptoms by reducing the excitability and conductivity of the cardiac muscle by reducing blood pressure. When the blood vessel will open up, then what will happen? The patient will get, or the cardiac muscle will get enough blood through the blood vessel, right? Then for patient with hypercholesterolemia, drugs may be used to lower cholesterol level. Surgical treatment, we can do coronary artery bypass grafting, where we replace the blocked area of vessels using graft from a patient, may be done to relieve the blockage. Okay, what we will do in that, the cardiac surgeon will take another graft from femoral artery. Okay, then cut the obstructed person, and then suture the replaced portion of femoral artery or any other artery, allograft. Okay, taken the graft from another section of the body and suture it. Okay, it is coronary artery bypass grafting. Then coronary angioplasty, which dilate the blocked vessel by inflating a balloon inside the vessel. What it is, how it is done? A balloon through a catheter is inserted in the obstructed part, and by camera or through camera we have seen the position of that balloon, and then we inflate that balloon, and position is stent. Stent is a small what I have to say, a material, okay, which is placed in that so that it is remains open up. Okay, then it is coronary angioplasty. Then a heart transplantation also can be done, which is recommended for patients who have failed all standard treatment and still have very severe symptoms. Okay, recently implantable or artificial heart pump has been developed. Now it is all about ischemic heart disease. If you have any queries, you can comment me on this comment section. Okay, thank you very much.